Hello, everybody! Rufel here, and I bring to you a different game. One that has been on my to-do list for a really long time, and I'm sorry. It's hard to find a version that ran properly. Folks, let's play Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. The second game, the Legacy of Kain series. The first one being Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain. Which was the other one that was listed on that splash screen. But the only things that we really need to know about the first game was that it introduced Kain, hence why it was the Legacy of Kain. But Kain was killed very early on in the game and converted into a vampire. And from there, embarks upon a quest for revenge and to, in the process, save the world of Nosgoth. At the end of the game, Kain is actually presented with a choice. His choice is to sacrifice himself and therefore fully save Nosgoth from whatever it was affecting it, or he could not sacrifice himself, embrace his vampirism, and become the ruler of Nosgoth, even though Nosgoth is dying. Kain is very much an anti-hero, so he chose the selfish option, which is what brings us to this game. It's almost immediately following that choice. Is it almost immediately? I'll let the intro parse that out. But, as another factor, I'm playing this game on using a PlayStation emulator because, well, while I have not had any trouble running a PC version of the game, which can be gotten on Steam or Good Old Games, those don't record very well. And they also kind of necessitate playing with keyboard controls because the whoever did the conversion doesn't seem to understand what a dead zone on a joystick is. So yeah, those sorts of problems. Which is fine because the original game doesn't play in with any analog controls anyway. So, shall we begin and meet our main character, which is not Kain?
Kain is deified. The clans tell tales of him. Few know the truth. He was mortal once, as were we all. However, his contempt for humanity drove him to create me and my brethren. I am Raziel, firstborn of his lieutenants. I stood with Kain and my brethren at the dawn of the Empire. I have served him a millennium. Over time, we became less human and more divine. Kain would enter the state of change and emerge with a new gift. Some years after the Master, our evolution would follow, until I had the honor of surpassing my lord. For my transgression, I earned a new kind of reward. Agony. There there was only one possible outcome: my eternal damnation. I, Raziel, was to suffer the fate of traitors and weaklings, to burn forever in the bowels of the lake of the dead.
Cast him in.
Tumbling, burning with white-hot fire, I plunged into the depths of the abyss. Unspeakable pain, relentless agony. Time ceased to exist. Only this torture and a deepening hatred of the hypocrisy that damned me to this hell. An eternity passed, and my torment receded, bringing me back from the precipice of madness. The descent had destroyed me, and yet I lived.
Raziel, you are worthy. I know you, Raziel. You are worthy.
What madness is this? What pitiful form is this that I have come to inhabit? Death would be a release next to this travesty.
You did not survive the abyss, Raziel. I have only spared you from total dissolution.
I would choose oblivion over this existence.
The choice is not yours.
I am destroyed.
You are reborn. The birth of one of Kain's abominations traps the essence of life. It is this soul that animates the corpse you lived in. And that, Raziel, is the demise of Nosgoth. There is no balance. The souls of the dead remain trapped. I cannot spin them in the wheel of fate. They cannot complete their destinies. Redeem yourself. Or if you prefer, avenge yourself. Settle your dispute with Kain. Destroy him and your brethren. Free their souls and let the wheel of fate churn again. Use your hatred to reave their souls. I can make it possible. Become my Soul Reaver, my angel of death.
And the game begins. Oh yes, and that was the other reason to play the PlayStation version over the PC version. The PC version fails to make the game not look like a PlayStation 1 game. Regardless, for those who didn't understand what all happened, well, as was mentioned in the intro, Kain, being the father of all the vampires, would evolve, and then some years later, or his lieutenants or children, however you want to look at it, they would then evolve. Raziel, through no fault of his own, seems to have jumped that gun and evolved into having some wings. He showed them off because, well, it was doomed to be found out eventually. Kain took notice, grew incredibly green with envy, and ripped off Raziel's wings, and had him cast into the pit as a traitor. Or yay? Oh well. And, well, despite Raziel's claims, no, he did not survive.
These gates twist space, laying a path across great spans.
Yes, and they're also particularly important because if you load a saved game, it starts you here. So, we're very much going to need our fast travel gates to return to what we were doing when last we saved the game.
You must visit other gates before this portal will be open to you.
And, it's actually fairly clear to tell whether a place is open to you or not, but right now all places are closed. But for now, we must continue into tutorial land.
You are weak. You must feed.
The old hunger has left me. I have no desire for blood.
You are changed. Your bloodthirst is replaced by a deeper need. You have become a devourer of souls. To sustain your strength, you must hunt the lost spirits of the underworld and consume the souls of your enemies.
Well, it's a good thing our new food is something that doesn't have substance, since we kind of lack a jaw. Nom 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 nom. Now we fed to full health, the wall keeping us in place disappears. Oh! Raziel grabs onto ledges and climbs up them automatically. Crouch and jump. Ah.
Your wings, though ruined, are not without purpose. Take hold of them as you leap, and they will carry you across this chasm.
Huh. Funny that the remaining desiccated flesh would actually still be able to hold our weight, but it works.
What scabrous wretches are these?
Shua, the scavengers of the underworld. Their feral hunger has claimed countless souls, spirits who now shall never find their rest.
More appropriately, they are competition for food. Nom 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 nom. Subsequently, they become food. Aha! Let's move on.
These portals are your conduit between the spectral and material realms. With their aid, you may gather matter and will yourself to become manifest in the physical world. This is taxing, however. Your strength must first be fully restored. You require no conduit to return to this plane. You may abandon your physical body at any time.
Well, that's useful.
Sustain your strength to prolong your manifestation in the physical world. If you fail to feed or absorb too many wounds, this fragile matter will dissolve.
Also presents a significant puzzle mechanic. Did you notice the way the pillars were bent and are now straight? Yeah, things are different between the two worlds. Not the least of which being, the path we came from is now closed. Let's go this way.
You are young yet, Raziel. You still retain many of your vampiric weaknesses. Immersion in water, while not fatal, will dissolve your physical body, forcing your return to the spirit world. Be aware that in the spectral realm, water has neither heft nor lift. It stands as thin as air.
Right. Open up the door. It's time for a new problem.
What are these creatures?
Do you not recognize them? They are the children of your brother, Duma.
That's impossible. These foul, scuttling beasts could not be kin of our high blood.
Do you suppose that time stood still for you, Raziel? Much has changed since you passed from the world of men.
I knew my opponent's weaknesses, having suffered them myself. Physical wounds are fleeting. A vampire's immortal flesh begins to close as soon as it is cleaved. Vampires need only fear those wounds that impale or inflame. Water scorches like acid, and fledglings are devastated by sunlight's touch. I would have to modify my tactics to suit my foes.
Dum-de-dum. Gonna go for a walk.
Unfettered from the flesh, a creature's soul fades swiftly into the spectral realm. Draw it in quickly, Raziel, or you will be compelled to follow.
Alright, let the dangers out of the way.
Your physical prowess surpasses what you knew in life. Even massive obstacles can be moved effortlessly.
Really? Oh! If I move it over here, well, do have to actually look around to see. Yeah, that's our path to progress. L2 and R2 are camera movement. If you push both of them at the same time, then that's your free look. If I recall correctly, in the PC versions on the keyboard layout, it was the control buttons. Left and right control.
My God! The sanctuary of the clans reduced to ruin. Beyond these walls lay the pillars of Nosgoth, the seat of Kain's empire. How humble it now appeared, collapsing into the dust of its former magnificence. And yet, I had only just emerged. In the instant between my execution and resurrection, centuries had apparently passed.
This world is wrecked with cataclysms. The earth strains to shrug off the pestilence of Kain's parasitic empire. The fate of this world was preordained in an instant by a solitary man. Unwilling to martyr himself to restore Nosgoth's balance, Kain condemned the world to the decay you see. In that moment, the unraveling began. Now it is nearly played out. Nosgoth teeters on the brink of collapse. Its fragile balance cannot hold.
Oh, there. Ooh. This will be useful. Hey, you! Catch! Nom 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 nom. Thank you. Oh look, another one. Oh! Feed me. Unfortunately, we don't really have a means of progressing in this direction, so we're off in the other direction. To have a means to sneak, to move quietly. That's an unpleasant yet on-target place to throw the spear. Missed, apparently. Come here, you. What are we doing? Not before we run off too far. Detour. Open up door. Because, of course, that mark on the door represents our fast travel gates. Just walk up and activate the thing. Now let us move on. Mistaken. Might be mistaken. There. No, I wasn't mistaken. I just missed. Like that. It's not recommendable to do combat unless you're forced into it. Whoa, this is ominously familiar.
This, at least, had remained constant. The endlessly swirling vortex of the abyss, my tomb, and the womb of my rebirth. Though much of Nosgoth's landscape had changed, these cliffs gave me my bearings. My clan territory was to the west. I was anxious to see how my descendants had fared during the centuries of my absence.
Probably not very well, but well, let's go find out. That. Aha. Oh. Awful nice of them to come at me one at a time. I do appreciate. I like this one better. It has more of an impaling tip. Something over there. I can't get it yet, but, oh. move this all the way across the room, then we'll be able to. Eventually. We are actually still missing a power necessary for getting it. I'll conduct my exercise in futility. Maybe it'll save time later.
Utter desolation. My once proud kin wiped from this world like excrement from a boot. I knew the hand that wrought this deed.
Alright, who wants some? That! Woo! Yay! Let us continue. Our path leads over this way. Like that. I don't think I want to go that way. Water. Take that, punk. Where are you? I'm gonna need that spear back. Oh, sir! Like that. Aha! Excellent. No! Please!
I didn't recognize these flayed racks of flesh. Their scent was vampiric. They gnawed upon their victim's carcass like dogs.
Hey guys, what's going on? Like that. I guess we're going through the gate. Ah, human. Well, he came at me first, you know.
This charnel house bore the unmistakable marks of Melchiah's clan. To what depths had our dynasty plummeted if these ghouls were the descendants of my high-born brother? Were they so debased as to recruit fledglings from the desiccated corpses here interred?
Yeah. Oh, guess we can't sneak up on him. Where'd he go? Dirk! Your soul is mine! Aha! A little more. Up. Go up.
My brother Melchiah was made last, and therefore received the poorest portion of Kain's gift. Although immortal, his soul could not sustain the flesh, which retained much of its previous human frailty. This weakness, it seems, was passed on to his offspring. Their fragile skins barely contained the underlying decay.
Dirk! Feed me! Right. Oh, that's where we came from. Alright, let's go a direction that actually resembles progress. Aha. Like that. You jerks think you're all that. Well. Well, this will do for now. Next time, we will pick up from here and see if we can find our wayward brother. Not so much wayward. Either way, I will see you then. Later.